Reasons why you should apply for jobs even if you aren't 100% qualified. Number 1, if you were actually 100% qualified for the job, you'd probably get bored within about 3 months. Number 2, if you were actually 100% qualified for the job, the company probably doesn't have the budget to pay you what you're worth. Number 3, everyone else who is applying, interviewing, and getting offers is not 100% qualified for the job, so you could be that person too. Number 4, job descriptions are written like wish lists. You don't actually need to know how to do 100% of the things listed to do the job well. Number 5, because job descriptions are written like wish lists and companies know they probably can't afford the candidates with 100% of the qualifications, they go into interviews knowing that they're probably going to have to hire someone who's only 50 to 75% qualified.
If you want to be a better software engineer, you need this. To get better, you need to have practice, and there's a lot of cloud services out there that has a free tier you can integrate with. To save you time, go here. Fire up GitHub and go to RIP Eners Free for Dev. It's really popular. It's a list of free services and cloud offerings that you can play with. Have fun and follow for more.
How are you guys finding your jobs nowadays?
I'm going to teach you a LinkedIn hack that's going to change everything for you. First, enter the title you want and then hit remote and enter your top companies. Let's say this is the one that caught your eye. But instead of hitting apply now, go and copy this title and add in a manager or a director there at the company. You should get a list of people who could be your potential hiring manager. Send them a connection request and send a message just like this. And now you're going to stand out. Follow for more.
I don't know why no one told me about this sooner. Go to a YouTube video that you want to study, click these 3 dots, then click show transcript. Transcript opens on the right, just copy all the text. Go to this website right here. Paste the text with timestamps in there. Click that. You've got everything that was said without the timestamps, and you can start scanning through it for information.
I just found such a cool opportunity. You know how companies will be like, you need experience, and you're like, okay, well I don't have any, that's why I'm applying. And they just keep telling you that you need experience. Well, I have a solution, and it's called entry level. Experience gets you the job, not your degree. Essentially, you get mentors, you work on real world projects, and you have outcomes. And the mentors are handpicked from these top companies. Seems like a great opportunity to me. Let us know if you apply.
If you want to grow quickly, personal projects and switching jobs are your 2 strongest tools. Personal projects will allow you to learn any technology you want at any capacity and at your own pace. Just make sure you're solving a personal problem and you find it fun so you keep yourself motivated to do it. Switching job exposes you to a lot of different tech stacks, processes, and learning principles. You learn different ways of doing things and you start seeing patterns and best practices and start understanding why certain things happen the way they do.
All right, here's the best algorithms book I ever read. It's called the Algorithm Design Manual. It was written by this really smart computer science professor. Make sure to get the hardcover copy because the paperback has terrible quality control. Good luck. All right, here are the best ways to prepare for your technical interviews depending on your time frame. If you only have a week to study, you'll want to know the 14 most common patterns for coding questions. If you have several weeks to study, check out the Grind 75. It's 75 of the most common leak code questions you'll be asked. If you have several months to study, check out all the resources on the Tech Interview Handbook, the System Design Primer, and also do as many leak code questions as possible. Good luck.
This video is only for people that are currently learning how to code. If that's not you, keep scrolling. The age-old question is, how do you study code? Should you watch a tutorial and code at the same time? Or should you copy and paste the code and then follow along with the tutorial? In my experience, here's what's worked. Have some base knowledge about the tutorial or topic or lecture before diving in. Take notes if necessary. This way you can actively follow along when this new topic is being introduced. Take more notes if necessary, address anything that you didn't understand, and then supplement this with real-life side projects. For more coding tips, make sure you like and follow.
If you want to learn code through a fun and interactive way, these are the 2 apps that I recommend. Right now I'm brushing up on web development through Nemo. It also offers Python and SQL. Grasshopper is super cute and fun to learn Java with, and it only offers Java at the moment.
This extension lets you search for anything inside YouTube videos.
And then hello world. Hello world. Hello world. Hello world.
Quick tip for people doing personal software projects. The one thing you want to keep in your README are links to things that helped you build whatever you were building. Like blog articles, Stack Overflow answers, or documentation that was actually helpful. Here's the article section for this automation project. Each and every single one of these entries actually helped unblock me and helped me take action and push the project forward. The reason you want to do this is because you're going to forget why you did things a certain way, and these articles are just going to be there to jog your memory so you don't have to waste time Googling again. Because these resources were super useful for you, they'll be useful for other people as well. So if someone comes and asks you a question, you can just go back to the project and just send them the links.
لو ابتديت تشتغل على نفسك وحاسس ان الدنيا صعبة good. لو حاسس انها صعبة وتعبت معناها انك بتشتغل صح. مين قالك ان التغيير او انك تشتغل على نفسك دي حاجة سهلة؟ هي صعبة لانك بتعمل مجهود، وصعبة لانك مهتم، وصعبة لان مفيش اي حاجة حلوة في الدنيا ومستاهلة بتيجي بالساهل. لو حاسس انها صعبة يبقى انت ماشي صح. كمل.
وبدأ يعلمني تكنيك في المذاكرة قلب حياتي 180 درجة. المذاكرة الكتابة اللي احنا بنعملها دي مش مذاكرة. يعني الكتابه وسيله اوتبوت، احنا بنستخدمها كوسيله انبوت. فهي عامله بالظبط كان انا جيت على المايك ده وحطيت ودني وبشوفه ما بيطلعش صوت ليه. فالناس لقيت تقول لك انا بقعد ساعات طويله بذاكر وما بجيبش نتيجه. هو علمني تكنيك معين كده في المذاكره. بالتكنيك ده انا ذاكرت قبل امتحان ليترالي ب 25 يوم، والماجستير في عين شمس تقيل. يعني مثلا هديك مثال على ماده وده اسم ماده: مبدأ العقد شريعة المتعاقدين ومدى جواز الاحتجاج به في عقود التجارة الدولية طويلة المدة. ده اسم المادة. الامتحان سؤال واحد إجباري: ناقش مبدأ العقد شريعة المتعاقدين ومدى جواز الاحتجاج به. والله العظيم ما بهزر، هو ده الامتحان. فأنت بيسكلي أنت بتاخد كتب، روح حمادة وارجع سمع لنا الكتب دي. في 20 يوم أنا جبت أعلى تقدير في حياتي بسبب التكنيك بتاع زياد.
إيه هو التكنيك بقى؟
إيه هو التكنيك؟ إنك تجيت فاميليير وتجيت أكوينتد مع اللي انت بتذاكره قبل ما تذاكره. يعني انت تقعد تقرا الكتاب كله ريجاردلس انت فاهم او مش فاهم، بس مخك يرسم لايت ماب عن ان الدرس ده متقسم 3 تشابترز، الشابتر متقسم 2 سب كاتيجوريز. هنتكلم هنا عن الاعتماد المستندي، هنا هنتكلم عن خطاب الضمان، هنا كان في حاجه ليها علاقه في فرنسا ليها. فبعد ما بتكون الهيكل ده تبدا تبلد عليه.
جامد.
الحته بتاعت فرنسا دي لا دي كانت فرنسا والصين، وكان في سفينه وقفت في حرب مش عارف ايه فكذا. فانت مع كل راوند بتبلد اب، فالاستراكشر بيكون في الاخر.
جامد.
فانت لو هنقعد ساعتين انك تقرا الكتاب 10 مرات ابرك من انك تكتبه 5 مرات.
اوكي.
وانا بالطريقه دي انا خرجت، انا خارج يعني بفضل الله يعني من تحت ايدي اراوند 450 500 وكيل نيابه.
واو.
فوق ال 100 ستاف جامعه كانوا طلبه عندي، وامتيازات وجايه جدا بقى من ناس اصلا كانت زيرو. مش عشان انا جامد، عشان كنت طالب فاشل. فانا بس كنت عايز حد يقول لي هي بتشتغل كده. فزياد وراني دي بقى، وانا بقى يعني زياد اثبت لي حاجه، ان انت مش مكتوب عليك تبقى فاشل، ده هو تكنيك بتعدلها كده هتظبط معاك عادي. يو كان جو فروم ا لوزر في المدرسه لواحد شاطر.
كان نفسي حد كان قال لي الكلام ده وانا
في المدرسه. يا نهار ابيض والله، يا نهار ابيض.
If you're applying to coding jobs and internships, this trick to beef up your GitHub will make you look like a better candidate. When applying to tech jobs, you want a GitHub chart that looks like this. LeetHub is a Chrome extension that automatically pushes code to GitHub when you're solving LeetCode problems and pass all of your test cases. This is great because if you're practicing coding problems on LeetCode, you probably don't have too much time to build projects, but the coding time that you spend on LeetCode will now count towards your GitHub activity. Those green dots on your GitHub make it more likely for a recruiter to pick up your resume, and that recruiter phone call could lead to your next job.
All right, here are a couple of ways to stop procrastinating that have worked pretty well for me. One is just to tell yourself that you'll do something for 5 minutes. Usually the hardest part is just getting started. Once you actually start to do that thing, you realize it's not so bad and you kind of just keep on doing it. The other way, which is more difficult but also more beneficial in the long term, is to develop good habits. When something is a habit, you basically just do it without thinking about it. So one example is brushing your teeth. Hopefully you do that at least once per day. Something that helped me lose weight is I would just go to the gym every single day after work. Eventually, I didn't even have to force myself to go. I just went because that's something I did. Building a habit is easier than you think, and if you're interested, I can go into more detail in a later video. Good luck.
I can't believe this website exists. freelearninglist.org. It's an educational resource that points you in the direction to learn anything that you want. Language websites, programming tools, books, and so much more. It even ranks all these resources with a score of how good they are. So go learn whatever your heart desires and follow Modern Marketing for more tips.
Hell no, to the no, no, no. Hell no, hell to the no.
الخرائط الذهنية من أفضل الطرق اللي أنت ممكن تذاكر بيها، وممكن كمان إنك أنت تقعد تطلع أفكار إبداعية بيها. تعال أقولك على موقع سهل يعمل لك خرائط ذهنية. موقع mindmaponline.de تقدر بسهولة إن أنت تستخدم الموقع وتعمل خرائط ذهنية شكلها احترافي بسهولة شديدة جدا. جرب الموقع ودايلي.
Python is finally coming to the web. PyScript allows you to write Python instead of JavaScript in client-side web applications. You add the PyScript tag in your HTML code and literally just start writing Python code. You can use the custom HTML text too to interact with the DOM, similar to how something like Angular or Vue does it. Now, is PyScript going to take over JavaScript? Absolutely not. PyScript is an early proof of concept to show that Python developers can create more accessible apps by putting them on the web. This must be Python's response for JavaScript coming to the server.
If the project you're working on has tech that you have no idea about, you want to check this out. You'll want to check out this repo, Build Your Own X. And basically this is a repo to learn new technologies from scratch. From 3D rendering to blockchain to neural nets. Follow for more.
I got you. Search up Replit.
That's a great site. These are 3 more to learn how to code. Check out W3 Schools for all these programs. For beginners and a free online course, check out Dash by General Assembly. And the holy grail of web development, check out the Odin Project.
If you're in your 20s or younger, you stop scrolling right now and listen to this video, because this could be the most important video you see today or ever. Listen, I know that everyone has a desire to be successful. Practically everyone, including you. Actually, especially you. You are seeing this video for a reason. I don't have any hashtags right under it. And you're probably not going to like what I'm going to tell you next. You will not be successful unless you realize that you have to do the things that the 97% of people don't do. You can't be scrolling on social media for 4 hours a day, because TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, all those social media platforms are a trap. It's a fucking trap. It's meant to keep you engaged on the platform, on the app, stealing your attention, wasting your time, and not achieving anything, and putting yourself into this social media trance. The point is that social media is a time waster, and it doesn't respect your time in the first place. Now, the only way to break out of the trap is to essentially take control of your mind. You have to make a decision to stop bad habits taking control of your life. Start reading more books, start that side hustle, start working out, start improving. It's never too late to make that decision, and it's really up to you to make that switch from the downward spiral into the upward spiral. For more clips like this, make sure to follow me on TikTok, and I will see you in the next one.
Let's talk about whether coding bootcamps are worth it. People are always asking for my opinion about coding bootcamps versus college versus being self-taught. In my opinion, as someone who actually went to a bootcamp, I actually don't suggest it. Now let's talk about why. As soon as I tell you why, I'm going to then present you an alternative route that in my opinion might be better. From a financial perspective, you're going to be paying anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 for a bootcamp. That is usually around 3 to 6 months long. One thing that a bootcamp will provide for you is a roadmap of everything that you're going to do in the upcoming months to go from 0 to engineer within that time. And so that'll give you a really good idea of exactly what you're going to achieve. Now, everything that they're going to teach you, all the resources, everything can be found online for either much cheaper or free. So therefore, what are you paying the bootcamp up to 20 grand for? Structure and accountability. So you're paying someone $5,000 a month to say, get your butt in your seat right now and code every day for the next 3 months so that you can get a job. Hey, so what exactly is the alternative? I have 2 alternatives specifically if you're planning on going into web development. Route number 1. You go to udemy.com and you purchase the Web Developer Bootcamp 2021 by Colt Steele. Udemy has sales just about every day, so it should be around $10 to $12. Do not pay more than $10 to $12 for it. Wait till the next day if there's a sale. The sections of this course are very similar to a roadmap for a bootcamp program, so you are going to be getting that same roadmap and structure here. Now let's talk about option number 2. You're going to go to the odinproject.com and you're going to choose the full stack JavaScript path. The amazing thing about the Odin project, it is completely free. It'll provide you with lessons and projects that you can work on. And the Odin project has a really great community. It has a Discord, and when you join the Discord, you can ask all types of questions about the curriculum. The one thing that you're really missing with these 2 very cheap or free options is accountability. Yes, it will take more self-discipline and time management, but you're saving thousands and thousands of...
So one of the big announcements from PyCon this year was PyScript, which is Python running entirely in your browser. So let's take a look and see how this works. It wants us to copy these 2 lines and put them in an HTML page. So let's create a new one and then put those 2 lines in. Okay, so now what do we do? Well, now it wants us to use this PyScript element here, and then apparently we can just write Python inside of this. All right, and it actually shows us hello world. Now the interesting thing here is that you're supposed to be able to use like NumPy and pandas and matplotlib. So to do that, you need a pyenv element, and let's just dump some code in here. So we put a bunch of code in to do a plot or a chart. Let's check it out in the browser. And there's our matplotlib chart. And this is all running entirely in the browser. Now, one of the tricky things here is that there's no syntax highlighting, but it's a Visual Studio Code, so there is already an extension you can install, and then once you do that, you'll get nice syntax highlighting.
What is the biggest life lesson that employment has taught you? Never stay at a job out of loyalty, because they sure as shit are not loyal to you. Also, your boss is not your friend. You can be friendly with your boss, but draw that line. The harder you work, the more people expect you to work hard. Some organizations are better than others. Everybody's money is green, but companies are not all the same, and managers are not all the same. Don't waste your life working for one that mistreats you.
I can't believe Google is sharing these for free, and why did no one tell me about it? Head to fonts.google.com, and instead of clicking on fonts, click on the icons tab, and look, you have thousands of icons that you can download and use in your projects, and you can customize it to changing the fill or the stroke weight, and of course you can download in PNG and SVG.
If you are a beginner in coding but find Git hard to understand, you should check this out. This is a website that lets you master Git commands by playing games. For example, here I'm passing the level merging in Git. First, it teaches you how merging works in Git, and then I will use what I just learned to solve a challenge, which is merging a branch into the main branch. Piece of cake. I'm addicted. Give it a try.
If you want to learn any computer science topic, you want to check this out. You want to check out this repo, CS Video Courses. And as the repo states, this is a list of computer science courses with video lectures. It covers from data structures and algorithms, to computer networks, and even computational biology. And I believe all these courses are free on YouTube or on some other websites. Hope this helps and follow for more.
If for some reason I had to learn how to code all over again, this is what I would do differently. I would start off with the programming language Python, and I would use these 2 resources to learn enough about Python to start building. Your learning needs to be project-based. You cannot rely on tutorials and other resources online to gain knowledge. If you're not building something, you're not going to be learning. So it doesn't matter if you think you don't have enough knowledge to build something complex. You're not going to be building something complex. You're going to have enough knowledge to build something small, something simple. And then you're going to learn a little bit more, and then you're going to build something more complex, and then you're going to learn more, and you're going to advance that way. I was sort of an academic perfectionist, so I didn't want to start building anything until I watched enough stuff and I read enough textbook pages to be perfect when I started, which was not the right thing to do. The classmates that were just building things off, a couple pages of a textbook, they were advancing and learning much faster than I was. For projects, I would always recommend picking something you're actually interested in, especially in the beginning stages, because it's very easy to think, I just want to stop, this is not for me, I'm never going to be able to learn this, and then you get unmotivated and then you just click out forever. After you've built a few things and you have some projects under your belt, I would learn how algorithms work, and then you're going to learn how APIs work. After you've done these things, you can kind of steer yourself in whatever direction you feel most comfortable with.
Here are 7 apps that will let you learn how to code directly from your phone.
For sure, it makes me want to dribble. Riding in my Fiat, you really have to see it.
It's about damn time. In a minute, I'ma need a sentimental man or woman to pump me up. Feeling fussy, walking in my Balenciennes, trying to bring out the fat beard lust.
Software engineering, systems design, some of you have been asking me to jump into this topic. It takes time to make content, but fortunately, there is a resource that I can recommend, 159 pages of it. The author of this was Alex Zhu, give him a follow. This PDF has a lot of snippets, surface level information of a lot of topics so that you can figure out what you want to learn and dive deeper. A lot of people asking about the most popular programming language is right here. Design patterns, API design, this friggin' debate right here, and a bunch of other useful stuff. Check it out. I'm gonna put the link in my bio so it's easy to access, but I am thinking about going into each and every single one of these topics, so give me a follow if you're interested in learning more.
If you want to learn algorithms with JavaScript, this free course is really good. Go to Google and search Front-End Masters. Click on Learn, go to Computer Science, and click A Practical Guide to Algorithms with JavaScript. Click Get Free Access and sign up to get 5 free courses in JavaScript.
لو قابلك كود أي لغة برمجة وعايز تعرف معناه بسيطة، ادخل على الموقع ده هتعرف الكود ده بيعمل ايه. وقبل ما تعرف ما تنساش فولو لايك كومنت شير.
I didn't go to college for computer science. And at this time, 5 years ago, I was working full-time as a baker at a bakery. One day randomly was like, I'm just gonna look at some code. I wanna build something. Learning programming was hard. It was so difficult. Is it worth it if you're passionate about it? Absolutely. Is it gonna screw you over a million times and make you mad? Yeah. Now I'm here to tell you that there's a ton of opportunities out there, but you just gotta look for them. When I first started, I worked at a startup and then later applied for a Microsoft apprenticeship program. The program was 3 months long, specifically for people that do not have computer science degrees or even degrees in general. During the 3 months, they paid you $40 an hour. And if you did good during those 3 months, then afterwards, you might have a job offer waiting for you. And the reason I'm telling you guys this is because the applications for this program have just reopened, and I want to share what helped me in hopes that it can help you. If you're interested in applying, you can Google LEAP Apprenticeship Program, and they just opened up their applications through June 15th.
How do you reply when you're asked, why did you leave your previous role in an interview? You want to be truthful, but not say anything that could reflect badly. So don't say, I hated my old boss. My old job was boring. I want more money. Instead, keep it professional and focused on you. For example, I'm looking for better career prospects and opportunities for professional growth. It wasn't aligned with my longer-term career goals. I'm looking for new challenges at work that align to my strengths. I was no longer finding the work fulfilling. My company was restructuring, so it's an opportunity for change.
Useful front-end tools, part 1. So if you go to this website, scroll down to tool categories, I'm going to click CSS. Select a tool, then you got all the tools down the left. Look at this gradient generator, make some triangles. What's a shape loader? Oh, nice. Even got a blob generator. And just copy the code.
Here are 2 incredible resources for learning web engineering. One is free and one is paid. First is the Odin project, which is a completely free online curriculum that has a foundations path and then a full stack JavaScript path that I recommend you go down. On top of being very beginner friendly, they have an entire Discord community filled with like 50,000 members who are learning the same things as you. And after Odin project, if you don't mind a paid resource, I highly recommend Front-End Masters because I'm always reading their professional and expert modules. Front-End Masters dives really deep into advanced JavaScript and front-end engineering topics taught by people who work at Microsoft and Netflix, among other top companies. It's a super high-quality resource that I actually use to help me get through some of my work, and I wish I had it in college.
Do you know about the supports at rule in CSS? It's really useful. It can allow you to declaratively provide what CSS should be different if certain CSS properties are or are not supported. For example, in a previous video, I showed how to create this frosted glass effect similar to how Apple does in CSS. But it uses a CSS property called backdrop filter that is not supported in Firefox. In Firefox, it would just be completely ignored, which sometimes means the foreground content is not as clearly visible behind the background content without that blurring effect applied. But now we can just use a couple lines of CSS to address this. Using the supports at rule, we can specify when there's no backdrop filter support to use a more opaque background color so we don't have these contrast issues. You can also do this in JavaScript using css.supports. Browsers support surprisingly good, so if you need a simple and high-performance option for detecting when browsers support certain CSS rules, try the supports at rule. It's pretty awesome.
My advice to any engineer at any level looking to grow is to work on a side project. Make sure you enjoy that side project so it doesn't feel like you're wasting time or you're doing work outside of work. There's nothing that beats working on real world problems and being able to work with technologies and get your hands dirty. This is for technical growth, but if you're talking about like career growth, then I have a different answer for you.
Useful front-end tools, part 2. So if you go to this website, it's basically a collection of code-only animated backgrounds. I'm going to nick this wavy one. Click the source button. Gives you all the SVGs and the CSS to go with it. Then I used it to make this simple login screen.
Here's some good news. Your first coding project does not have to be advanced. If you don't know how to do anything, go follow a tutorial like this Intro to React, where you're going to build a small tic-tac-toe game that's interactive. And after you learn how to build that simple app, go check out Create React App and get started. This will help you start up the scaffolding for any web project that you might want to build. As you can see here, it already set up the folder structure for your source directory, your public assets, and even your package management with NPM. Every single project starts small and from nothing when you're learning. but it's eventually up to you to break free from these tutorials and then extend these apps far farther. For example, for that tic-tac-toe app, you might make it shareable, or you might make it so it can be played two-player from across the internet. The point of projects is for you to stretch your knowledge and to Google your way around to learn new things.